A member of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Chinedu Uzordike, is reported to have said that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, which has returned as a sole importer of the product, was rationing supply to depots. NNPC is currently operating as a sole importer of petrol into the country, with marketers across the country relying on the government-owned oil company for supplies. It reported that it has been very difficult to lift products from NNPC in the past 2 days, and that has been a result in the skeletal scarcity, and some of the portals owned by NNPC have shut down and are no longer issuing authority to lift to marketers. And to further talk about this, I'm joined live on the news by Gbolahan, Olojede, a developmental economist and also energy expert. Good morning, glad to have you join me.
Yeah, good morning. Nice to be here.
Now, this year alone, there's been multiple rounds of fuel scarcity. What factors do you think are responsible for this?
Well, there are a number of reasons. Of course, there were issues around pricing by the petroleum transporters at some point. I think that was part of what caused one of the February scarcity. There are also issues around supply. You mentioned the fact that NNPC had become the sole importer again. And the reason is clear. The reason is because of the instability of the volatility of the currency. If you're going to do an importation and you're not so sure what the rate will be, how do you deal with that? Only government can handle the nature of volatility we have seen in the foreign exchange market in the past few months. So because of that, all the other people that were meant to be to contribute to importation and improve the supply, all the independent people that should have been able to import, nobody is able to import, only the government. So that sometimes will be part of the problem in the supply and distribution of the product, as we have seen.
Well, but one would assume that removal of the fuel subsidy would sort of balance the equation. I know you touched, on foreign exchange, but beyond that, what exactly are we not getting right?
The removal of the subsidy, you also must ask yourself if indeed we have not gone back to the subsidy regime in the course of the season when the naira depreciated very rapidly. Here is it. If I'm importing a product, I use a letter of credit, and as at the time I'm entering the market, dollar was 1,005. By the time my product is here and I need to pay on the obligations that I've committed to, dollar has become 1,800. I'm talking about what happened in the past few months. I won't even bother to touch it. It has nothing to do with subsidy, but volatility in the foreign exchange market. Even if the product is there, the reality with the foreign exchange is that I may enter into massive losses if I dare to go into that market and deal with it. So we must be able to handle matters around foreign exchange rate stability, exchange rate stability, for us to get full benefit of issues around what the subsidy removal. Without fixing that, subsidy removal in itself will not be adequate to ensure better participation of many parties.
Yeah, that makes me want to ask you, how then can we prevent volatility of the naira and all of this instability we see when it comes to foreign exchange? What really is the silver bullet?
For the short run, I think the CBN is doing a fantastic job. So we have seen what has happened since that peak of 1,900. Dollar actually sold for 1,900. But at yesterday, I think it was 1,200 and something. So about 700 naira has disappeared from that exchange rate that we used to have. So as those measures by the CBN are sustained, and with complementary effort from the fiscal side of things, comes into play, we will begin to see a more stable currency that we can plan with. It is when we have exchange rate stability, like I said, that most of those benefits can be brought to bear in this economy. So on the monetary policy side of things, I think things are proceeding in the right direction, but it will definitely require a support from the fiscal side of things to ensure that the gains we are having now will be sustainable, and that is what people want to see. That is what business people can plan with. So we're moving in the right direction. We just need more effort, especially on the fiscal side of it.
Well, thank you so much for your insight on the news. Gbolahan Olojede, a development economist, thank you once again.